Bomba-dee-da, 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 bomba-dee-da,
Back. Hey, everybody. Hey,
Welcome
welcome.
to Happy Trails.
Welcome.
Happy Trails podcast.
Happy trails.
You know why we're so happy?
Why are we so happy, Blaine?
Because we just got to spend the weekend together,
Dude,
learning
yes.
about multifamily real estate and meeting a bunch of good peeps in
MF
Dallas, Texas.
MFRE.
Multifamily real estate. This is what that stands for those.
I've heard, when the first time I heard that, I thought it was MFer, like somebody was saying, like this MFer.
Mother.
I'm like, yeah, man, I love this. And they're like, no, it's multifamily real. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, got it. Anyway, hey,
we're gonna do a little recap today, so you guys can. I know everybody's dying. You're dying for us to go through that deal or those two deals that we were gonna do, and we're gonna do back of the napkin on a couple deals that came across my computer a couple weeks ago. We're not gonna do it today.
No. And we have better.
This is more pressing.
We have better because we got pitched a few deals while we were at
our
event this weekend.
Yeah.
So
we'll tell you how we're responding to that.
Yeah. Anonymously. Anonymously, because we're not going to tell you where they came from. It's just anonymous.
No. I mean, it could be, you say it's from Texas. Well, there's 100 billion deals there. So we're not going to tell you.
There's a lot of stuff in Texas.
We're not going to tell you the specifics.
Hey, but you know what? You'll notice some new branding here,
Wait, you see that?
Punk's brought us in. Check that out.
Oh,
compliments of the Nate Dog.
Wow.
Nate Dog.
As you can tell, we're always improving, constantly improving our product and stepping up to the plate so we can swing for the home run.
I think we graduated from AA to the majors.
You think we skip AAA?
I think we skipped right over AAA. We went from AA to the majors thanks to Nate Dog. Nate Dog put us in the ballpark, man.
Wow. And that's probably why we were asked to be on somebody else's podcast too.
Hey, you know what? But before we get into all that, introductions, because we forget to do this quite often. Hey, I'm Matt Bynum. I'm a practicing dentist here in Greenville, South Carolina. And my cohort over there and friend for 30, what did we determine? 33 yes. years. This guy.
It's half of Matt's life. Oh, it's way more than that, Matt. Way more than half your life and my life too.
Well,
Dr. Blaine McLaughlin Robbins, Iowa dentist. I went to dental school together at University of Iowa, the home of Caitlin Clark. Of course, everybody knows and loves Caitlin Clark. And,
number 22.
She's the best.
22.
But and if you're like, who's that? Then Google it. You look it up and get out from under the rock.
Just look this up right here. Look that up. That's all that you got
to know. 3.
But if you turn it over
from the logo,
if you turn it over, it could be this, and then you get to punch somebody next to you. You know what I mean? So
don't punch me.
Just saying.
Ow.
All right. So hey,
in all seriousness.
Let me tell you what we did this last weekend. So we met in Dallas, Texas, and we were attending the Rat Race to Retirement seminar being put on by himself, Brad Sumrok, the apartment king. Now, some people call him the apartment king, he said, right?
Yeah.
Do you think he called himself the apartment king before anyone else called him the apartment king? Or?
No. He told us that years ago. I can't remember what it was. Somebody coined that for him. He didn't make it up. Yeah.
I like it, but I've said that to a couple of people that are in heavy real estate. They still don't know who he is. I thought that was really interesting too. But hey, so anyway, Brad's done a great job with his product, and what he decided to do was take it and teach other people how to do what he did using pretty much a guaranteed formula that's helped him through the years. So this is our third Rat Race to Retirement seminar that we've gone to. And some people ask, why did we go? Why did we attend? Well, we ask ourselves that quite often, but why did we attend? Well, more information, more knowledge, meet new people,
Yeah.
catch more deals, talk about the podcast, bring people on the podcast, get invited to do what, Blaine?
Be on somebody else's
Be
podcast.
on someone else's podcast. You know what? It's always nice to be on somebody else's stage, right?
Yeah. You
So I
got
met
it.
some people and jumped in their podcast and had a good time. Very different than ours. Ours is pretty laid back
Yeah.
and transparent. What you see is what you get. These guys were great guys, but very kind of formal. They're doing a whole studio, and had we lived in the same place, we'd have a studio too. I think, right? We'd probably have it all tricked out, and we'd be drinking, smoking cigars or something, and it'd be awesome.
These
But
guys,
we're not.
they were good people. We'll
Oh
we'll
yeah,
send
they were
we'll
awesome.
send you guys we'll send everybody the link. Once they get it published, they recorded like, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 different podcasts with different people. And so
Yeah, yeah.
they'll I don't know how long it's going to take. They'll have their people work on. They have people to
Yes.
actually edit their stuff other
Well,
than me.
Well,
They
Blaine and
like,
we have people.
that's yeah.
Our people are called Blaine.
And they have actual people, and we're like, we don't want to do that. We want this to be us real people. We're just
Yeah.
real guys, real dentists, sailing off into the sunset here on our happy trail.
Or riding off.
We can ride.
Because if you're sailing off on the trail, there, I don't know, that's a little different.
Well, hey, in Dallas this weekend, we probably would be sailing because
Yes.
it rained the whole weekend.
God.
You know what? The whole time.
We had Ann with us, we had Chris with us, and they didn't get to do anything, so they came to the meeting.
Yeah, because they wanted a pool time, but you can't do that when it's lightning and hailing out.
Yeah, they thought they were going to get some pool time, and they didn't. They
weather
did
was
it all.
terrible. It was good for them. I think Chris liked it. I mean, I think it's good to learn that stuff, obviously. And this, going back to that, it was so the third one. This is so different for me, right? From
Yes.
the first, the first one, which I did virtual. You were in person. I did it virtually, and we were constantly, texting each other, or calling or whatever, contact, talking about stuff. And it was just, stuff is like blowing me away, going, oh my God, really? Wow, this is crazy. How organized this whole process is. And Brad's got this laid out just beautifully. And if you can, fine tune it, boy, you can certainly do well. And so, and then last year was, when I got there, I was like, hey, you know what? This isn't just about me trying to learn what's going on. I have some stuff I can bring to the table.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like I was, I was like, hey, I know some things, and maybe I can help some people. And this year, I don't think, I mean, a lot of the stuff he teaches is repetition. And this is kind of an entry level class. So, there's one every year. Anybody's interested.
Well, repetition is the second law of learning.
But he does this every year, and for a lot of newbies. And so, my goal this year was not to go learn per se. It was to go, hey, how can I really help people with the knowledge that I have, and the knowledge that Matt has, and what we've, the stuff we're here to offer. I mean, again, it's not just we can bring something. That was cool. I felt kind of good talking to a bunch of newbies, and they asking me questions, and
At the second one.
Bam, bam, bam. A little bit last year, but this year totally.
Oh yeah, this year totally changed things.
Yeah, it was like, they're going, well, how do you do this? And I'm like, of course I know that. And it was like,
yeah,
it's great. So I felt like I was able to help some people. I'll be in contact with those people. I got some contact information, and I'll be in touch with them and get them on. Hopefully we can get them watching this, and they can learn from us, and again, follow us into some investments, and we can invest together with some of these peeps.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I think, the course is called The Rat Race to Retirement. And I think the rat race just simply explains exactly where we're at and where we have been and what we've been doing with our jobs and our lives and our money and everything else. And just the week before that, I had been out with Cardone, and Ann and I were doing a little smaller.
Our last podcast, we talked a lot about that.
Yep. And so that led into a great week with Sumrok, because it kind of melded into the concepts of multifamily, obviously, but also in wealth in general. So The first rat race I went to, I told you guys I was the only one that went live and was
The only
communicating
one.
with,
There
well,
was nobody else there.
besides you, but the friends that
Oh, the only ones
obviously
friends that you
of the
knew.
friends that didn't go because it was going to cost too much money at
That
$400.
That
So
wasn't it.
they couldn't spend the $400 ticket,
Man,
but it's okay.
I had to feed the dog.
It's okay.
I had to feed the dogs.
They had a rough month, I guess, that month. But anyway, so the second year they got better. They must have made some money because they decided to. Well, Blaine decided to go. Um, Jay didn't go, but we can't get Jay to do much of anything anymore. So he's out. You're out, Jay. If you're listening, you're out.
Well, Jay, you just keep listening, and
Yeah,
let
we're
us
not.
know.
Yeah, we're not
when-
inviting you though. We're not inviting you again. You're done. You can go on your own. But so
uh,
yeah, so I got mad the first year because I was upset at the fact that I didn't know that some of this stuff was happening behind my back. That's what I felt like. How in the world is this going on live in front of me that people know about? And I've never heard about it, neither at Blaine, neither at any of my other friends. Hell, I sat in front of my Bible study last week before I left and was just sharing a couple things that I had learned, and they all looked at me like, "What are you talking about?" Like, like I had something growing out of my head.
yeah, I know. I was like, what? Like a horn. It was like a
Like a horn.
They're like,
Yeah.
what?
Like
Are
a
you
horn growing out of my forehead.
unicorn or something?
So they're
Man.
just looking at me like, what are you talking about? And I realized right then that these are seasoned businessmen that I'm in Bible study with now. They're older than I am. A lot of them are older than I am. And they just sat and looked at me like I was crazy. And I realized right then that when you run in a circle like Blaine and I are running in, when you're constantly advancing yourself and educating yourself to become better, that the circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And it's not until you run into the people that share commonality with you that you all of a sudden kind of realize that you're at home. And running in the Cardone circles makes me feel like I'm at home. Running in the Sumrok circles with certain people in particular makes me feel like I'm at home. And just like Blaine said, by the time we hit this third meeting, last meeting, we were podcasting every morning. This meeting, we were up because the meetings were starting early.
The last year is when we started the podcast at Rat Race.
Yes.
We
Yes.
podcasted at AIMNetCon every day.
Oh, that was AIM
Yeah,
NECA. That's
yeah.
right. That's
so
right.
we came up with it. All right, we're doing Happy Trails, and that was the beginning of the podcast was last year at Rat Race.
Yeah. So this year we planned to do it every morning, but every morning there was a meeting. And
Yeah,
every morning we got up to attend the meetings, and that's where
impromptu meeting.
Yep, and that's where we met more people, more networking and aspect of learning and bringing people on the podcast. And now we've got some formality of the podcast. You'll notice Nate Dogg did a great job with this logo. We've got a landing
on.
page that now you don't have to go to our personal emails and search for those anymore.
Right here. Right here.
You can hit right on the website. There's a landing page. Enter your info, enter your questions, and we'll get them directly. So just trying to find easier ways to communicate with everybody out there. So kind of exciting, kind of fun. But yeah, I thought this meeting was I felt the same way, Bland. There was a lot more people that came up and just talked to you in general, asked you questions, asked me questions. Just kind of we're a little bit more seasoned now, and I don't know if people knew that or if people could pick that up or what it was, but it took on a totally different feel this meeting did for me than any of the others.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
I think one of the things crazy in the first two meetings, man, it was this networking stuff. There must have been, I don't know, I must have collected 100 cards in 30 minutes. Like people are just handing their cards out. They're like, "Hey, do you want to be a co-GP? Do you want to be a GP?
Yeah.
Do you want to enter my deal?" And they're just throwing stuff at you, And I took all the cards, and the ones that just didn't make sense to me that were just handing me a card to hand me a card I put in my left pocket, and the ones that talked to me about their properties and different things I put in my right pocket.
Really?
It was amazing
So
at the end of the night.
That was a card in your pocket?
Is that a card in your pocket, or are you happy to see me? Yeah, it's like Flat Stanley.
Right. Oh man.
I needed to be pumped up. It's Flat Stanley. So yeah. So but here's the thing. So you got all these cards in my left pocket, and I only have like 4 in my right pocket. But what I quickly learned after that meeting when I started that was very simply that there are people that I would be interested in doing deals with, and there's people that I wouldn't be interested in doing deals with. And it starts with the concept that Blaine and I taught in episode 1. And it's very simple. You have to know, like, and trust the people that you're going to enter into any kind of investment with, period. If they're going to control your money, if they have any control of your money whatsoever, you better know, like, and trust who these people are. You don't just give money up to get into a deal. And I was
No.
surprised that at this third event, there were still people handing cards out.
You know, and some of these people we met years ago. I mean, we met in the first
Yes.
one, or you know,
Yeah.
I've known for a couple of years, and they're still doing that.
They're still
So,
doing it.
I mean, we got approached by you know, a couple, and they have a deal down in Texas that they're putting together,
Yeah.
and they're like, hey, you know, we got this great, you know, deal, blah blah blah. Here, take some. Here's some pictures of it. And that look nice. And I'm like at A class. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That looks nice. They're like, would you like to be involved in it? I'm like, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, a few pictures doesn't tell me jack squat.
Yeah.
I need to know. I need to see an OM. I need to know who's on the GP team. And then they're like, hey, you want to be on a GP team? Can
Yeah.
you raise it? And they didn't say it, but they kind of hinted at it. Can you raise some money?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, they're like, oh, you ever raise money for a GP team? I'm like, well, no, I have not, but I you know, I could raise a little bit probably. Anyway, yeah.
Did you ask them who's got your money?
No, they're probably just asking me.
Yeah, they did ask us.
Do you have my money?
Do you have some money? Do you have any money? Do you have
Anyway,
any money?
so we got an email from them today, and that's nice that they followed up. And I'm gonna look into it just to see what they have to say and see who's all involved and if there's anybody else that I know that's involved in the deal and what kind of deal it is. And
There's
but
not.
yeah, it was just like I was like, seriously? That's exactly what we don't do. Or
Yeah,
that's exactly what we're telling you guys not to do.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we're not doing.
No, and
So-
it's real. This stuff is happening that way. But at the same time, I didn't think there was as many cards being handed out at this event either.
No. Probably, you know, it was a little smaller this year.
Smaller event.
Due to the market itself and how people are a little fearful, and Brad touched on this. He said, you know, people are fearful of the market because of everything that's gone on the last couple of years, and so there's not as much interest. And he goes, you can see that when if you put a bid in on a deal, if you put an offer in, you know, you have 2 or 3 people offering instead of 20. He goes, so there's not a lot of people out there, and everybody's scared. So nobody's going to come to a real estate investing conference because they're like, I ain't doing that crap. This is not the time to invest.
Yeah.
But on the other side, here are 9 things that maybe it'll tell you this is the time to invest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Number 1, real estate's on sale, right?
Yep.
And we've talked about that. And that's because people need to get out of their deals. And we'll do the short version because we go on for hours. People need to get out of their deals because their loan's up and they got to get rid of it. And they either take a cut on how much they're going to get so they can get out of the loan so they don't lose it all, or they you know, maybe get foreclosed on or even worse. So the prices have dropped, which means the cap rate is an inverse to the prices. Cap rates have gone up. And in DFW, cap rates, Dallas Fort Worth, which is where most of our investments done, or a lot of the Sumrok group is invest there in Texas and Dallas. Cap rate's gone from probably high 4s, 4.75 to 5 to now they're probably up around 6 to 6.25, maybe 6.5, depending on if it's a C class. So I mean, that's a substantial amount of money. I mean, you're talking 20% off the top end. So, yeah, that's one reason, one great reason to invest. And these are right off. I took this picture from the course. So I was paying attention, Matt. You were probably sleeping, but I was paying attention.
I slept a little bit. I slept a little bit and every day.
Fundamentals are strong. And I think he was just talking about, you still do the same thing when you're, you know, you underwrite the deal a proper way, you do your due diligence and and real estate has been positive for the last umpteen decades. Even if the economy is bad, real estate still does pretty well as long as you put the deals together properly. And so he goes, you don't change what you're doing. It's the numbers are a little different. And again, if you find a good deal, go for it. If you don't, then don't go for it.
Yep.
Right.
Another reason is there's still a shortage of multifamily. There's still a shortage of housing out there, believe it or not.
Totally. Totally.
People
Big time
still
across the country.
can't afford houses because of the rates, and the average household incomes can't afford houses, so they're looking for apartments. And guess what? Multifamily real estate is still where it's at. There's high demand in every city, which is why you're seeing the course of the direction of not only apartments being built, but you're seeing homes being built that are being built in subdivisions that are just for rent. We talked about this earlier, kind of a trend that's sweeping the country. This is going on everywhere. They're building subdivisions strictly for rental homes, not rent to buy, not rent to purchase, not rent to own. These are just rentals, just like apartments, but they're houses. Gives families opportunities to have a house, and they just pay rent.
Yep.
So this is happening everywhere, and there's a shortage of housing all the way across the country.
Yep.
Number
especially
four,
especially in Texas, where there's
yes.
people moving constantly.
Yep.
So
Number four is homes are becoming less affordable, like we just said. It's just, this is I guess technically this is they say it's a buyer's market, but in some areas it's a seller's market too, depending upon the type of housing that you're dealing with. I know in Greenville where we're at, it's a good time to sell your house. People are still coming here like crazy. So, who knows? Maybe,
yeah.
maybe the Bynums put their house up for sale. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who's
And
got
some of that goes along
money?
with interest rates being higher, right? So you're going to pay more
Yep.
for interest, so it makes it less affordable. And I think people have been waiting for the housing crash,
Yes.
and it just hasn't happening for multiple
gonna.
reasons.
Yep.
And they are expecting prices to go down now in Phoenix and Tucson. You're having a little bit of that because their bubble was so huge. But in most of the country, you're not seeing a crash. It's leveled out, but you're not seeing a crash. And so the affordability gap is huge.
But it's not just in housing either, Blaine. I mean, look at what's happened since COVID. Once COVID hit, everything went through the roof, right? Prices wise.
Yeah.
So can you go? Did you notice that after COVID left, that all the prices went back down to normal? No, you didn't see that.
Weird. No,
You didn't see that. What you saw was the prices stayed high. I mean,
Yeah.
how much are you paying for milk a gallon? That used to be a hell of a lot cheaper. That's
I
not
haven't
where it
bought a
is
gallon
now.
of milk in years.
Yeah, so their whole thing is doing that. So eggs, it doesn't matter, beef, everything is stayed up high. It doesn't matter what it is. They didn't go back to the normal prices of what they were beforehand because they realized they could keep it high and still sell. So
Right.
you're gonna these things aren't gonna go back down, people. If you're waiting for the houses to keep going down, you're gonna keep waiting a long, long time. I got news for you. So
Yep.
it's the time to get into a game like this that we're talking about is now. Best time was yesterday. Second best time is now.
Yep.
Well, it's 8:54 here, so probably not now. But well, I mean, you can make some calls, I guess.
Send an email
You can
too.
make some calls.
Number 5, competition's lowest in a decade. I already touched on this and the fact that people are scared. Now, there was a little bit of information. This big company called BlackRock, who own, I don't know, I
Ooh.
think $3 trillion in real estate or something like
Ooh.
that. They have been on the sidelines for a long time as far as
Ooh.
buying multifamily properties, because that's what they do for their investors. But
Did they get back in the game, Blaine?
they just bought $10 billion worth of versus proper first. Can't talk.
Say that
10 billion.
again.
$10 billion of property they just purchased.
Is that 10 billion with a B?
Billion.
Billion.
They have
Billy.
your
That's
money.
a Billy. We call that with the big players like Blaine and I, we call that a Billy.
Starting right now, because I've never heard that. But starting
That's a
right now, we call
Billy.
that a Billy. $3
Well,
billion.
my brother Billy, I don't call him Billy. I
No.
call him Pinch.
Okay, good. Good. I don't want you to get mixed up with
No, because a
bro.
Billy is totally different. Hey, but all BS aside. Think about that for just 1 second. You have BlackRock, which is one of the leading forces in Wall Street. Okay. One of the leading forces in handling anything financial asset wise in our country, if not the world. Okay.
With dealing with real estate. Yeah.
Dealing with real estate. BlackRock
Real
is
estate.
huge, huge, huge. They just poured $10 million.
No.
Billion. No.
Billion.
Billion. I mean 10 billion.
Billy.
10 billion into multifamily. Now, I don't know about you, but when you see something like that, you got to step off the sideline and go,
Why? What's going on here?
Should we punt?
Maybe. Hmm.
Maybe we do a quarterback sneak here. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is the deal is that's a huge event. That's a huge event. That's like what I was talking about last week when we talked about the Nigerian brothers who were up there talking about their algorithm for when Nancy Pelosi or Hillary Clinton makes a move in the stock market, or Bill Gates. Wouldn't you like to know that one of the big players made a move in the stock market? Made a big move because they had insider trading information, which is completely illegal, but who's going to touch them, right? So,
Yeah.
but hey, wouldn't you like to know? Well, here's a pretty much the same thing.
It's a sign that maybe things are near, and this is we're going to skip to number 9 because we're nearer at the bottom of the cycle, of the market cycle. And we, in a couple of podcasts ago, we talked about this, and I think it showed it up on a little screen share about the little cycle where top of this, everybody's getting rich up here and everything's expensive, and then all of a sudden you have problems with money and it gets tight and interest rates start to going up and blah blah blah. And so everybody's kind of decided we're near at the bottom of the cycle. And if somebody like that does it, that's, to me, that's proof. And the best time to buy is at the bottom of a cycle.
Yep.
Because that's when things are on sale.
Yep. True. It's true, people. So yeah, I mean, skipping ahead 9. I mean, we can go through the other stuff in there, but I mean, essentially, this is the best time to be jumping into anything, and it was confirmed with everything that Brad had reported. If we really believe in what Brad's saying, which Blaine and I sat and talked about it afterwards, like this is the guy we've been following for 3 years. Do we really believe in the concepts that he's teaching? Number one, do we believe in what he's telling us? Number two, and the answer is yes and yes. So if it is, then maybe we need to start taking a hard look at this and really making some moves. And I think this year is going to be great. Next year is going to be great. You're going to see multifamily real estate take off. I think for the next 3 to 5 years, it's going to be absolutely insane. I think it's going to start getting really, really crazy here. Probably by the end of the year, beginning of next, for sure. We've been saying that for 6 months that this is going to be the year. I still believe that. I think there's so many of these deals that are out there that are coming due, and with the high rates and they can't refi and whatnot, they need to sell. So these people are looking, oh my gosh, I got to get out of this apartment complex. I bought it at 10 million. I'll sell it to you at 8.1. That's a deal. That doesn't mean that it's always going to be at a lesser price, but there's still going to be deals out there that people are selling and ready to move on. So you just got to be poised and ready to take action. And that's what we are positioning ourselves to do. And we're hoping that we're going to bring some of you all along with us. So
you got it. You got it. They're buyer friendly terms. And
yeesh.
you say that, what are, excuse me, what are buyer friendly terms? Well, when things are in high demand and everybody's trying to get a deal, sometimes you got to put some hard money down. You got to put hard money down to say, hey, I'm serious about this. So you go and you throw in $75,000 or $100,000. And if you don't close the deal, if they say, hey, yep, you're in, I want you to buy this, and you don't close it for whatever reason, that 175,000 is gone, done. It's in their pocket. You don't get it back. Well, you're not seeing that now because sellers are not like, I'm in control. Sellers are like, I need help.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the buyers gets the friendly terms nowadays.
Yeah. It's a great market to be looking at deals, guys. It really, really is. And that was substantiated over the course of this weekend and in talking with some of our friends and cohorts that have been doing this for a lot of years longer than us. They're still just making some incredible deals, and some really good properties out there. We toured 3 of them. We toured one that's for sale. It's 77, 75 units. That was a nice complex. We toured 2 that were run by students, and there was some great stuff going on. I mean, really, really nice upfitting going on, rental rates going on, just some nice changes that corroborated exactly what we've been learning. So
Yeah,
really cool stuff.
Yep. It was neat to see.
Yeah.
Neat to see it. So we got, obviously we talk about the tax benefits, and that didn't change, but it's still the best benefits of any class, of any investment class is the tax stuff. And so go find a tax attorney or a real estate tax guy, and they can tell you all about them, and or listen to our podcast in the past. We've
Listen to
talked
the
about a lot.
past, but you know what? Even if listening to the past, we've got more updates we're going to be bringing on this because this is the critical factor for acquiring wealth, people. Yes, the multifamily class of investments, great. The tax savings and the write-offs alone are the thing that will generate the wealth for you in this process. It's shown over and over and over again. And the status of professional real estate status that we mentioned in one of the podcasts, I don't know, several episodes ago, this is going to be the crucial aspect for you getting involved in this. It's crucial enough that I think we should cover it again because we've even found out more details about this. There is a lot. This is an intricate little subsector of what everybody will tell you that is acquiring wealth in real estate. One of the first questions they ask you is, are you a professional real estate guy? Are you a professional real estate girl? Because if you are, then your potential for tax savings is so much greater than if not. If not, you're going to be paying taxes, on
Yes.
the wealth that you get, rather than deferring and making money and depreciation and things of that nature. It is insane. So writing off passive income and active income at that. How do you save big time money? You write off your active income and your passive income. That's how. Explain to me how we're able to do that. Well, it's in the tax code. It's about this big. And I think
It's
it's
illegal.
somewhere in the top. It's somewhere about right in here. And I only read the tax code to about to right here. Right to the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
The introduction where it said tax code. I was like, oh, that's enough. I can't read anymore. I can't read anymore.
That's it. Yeah. I only look at that when I'm ready and I can't sleep. And then I
Yeah,
go,
I know the
and
I
then I
know the
look at
feeling.
them and like tax code.
Done.
I'm done.
I hear you. I
Who
don't even
need
need that to fall asleep.
who needs frickin' NyQuil, sleepy NyQuil or whatever?
Yeah,
What's
you
that
don't need
called?
that.
You don't need that. Just a tax code right by
Yeah,
your, yeah.
tax code.
And then the other thing is the last thing is that you know, they're basically inflation resistant or not resistant. It's a hedge
Yeah,
on inflation. It's not called resistant. That was
yeah.
stupid. Never mind that word. But so because you're like, well, what do you mean? If you get a solid 3% in the your 401k like I did, a solid 3,
Man, that's kick ass.
and inflation goes up to 9% or 10, like say the last year or two,
Yeah.
then how much is that money that you're putting in the 401k worth at the beginning and at the end? It's worth, a lot less at the end because your buying power drops because you're not getting as much as inflation. Inflation's going up faster. So you're losing value, right?
Losing.
In real estate, if there's inflation, typically rents go up because that's inflation.
Yes, that's good.
And so that, you're like, oh, well, everything else is more expensive. Our expenses, of course, go up, but you can increase rents because that's what happens. And so it's a little hedge against inflation there. And so
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why real estate does well when the economy is great, and when the economy isn't great, it's still, if it's done properly, it's great. It's a big, huge, freaking awesome thing.
Yeah, outside of those 9 things, that this meeting, I'm going to talk about some things. We can talk about
Yeah.
things that we learned, people that we met, that kind of thing. So I think one of the takeaways I got on this meeting, Blaine, and I saw the light bulb go off when we both learned at the same time, is we met a guy on the bus tour. His name is T Has. Hey, T Has, what's up? Travis Hass. Travis
Yeah.
Hass.
Yeah.
You out there? Are you listening? Because you said you were going to listen.
Yeah, bro.
You
You
better be
better.
listening, brother. You know what I'm saying? Giving you a shout out. T has. Hey, what does T have? I don't know. What does T has? I don't know. Anyway, he showed us that there is an app. Now, I don't know why the hell Blaine and I didn't look for an app, maybe because we're old, but there's an app for tracking your
Ah,
real estate hours for your professional real estate status. And he showed us this, and I was like, that's cool. Where do I get that? He said, in your app
the App
store.
Store.
And I said, where's that? And he
Uh,
showed me. So we downloaded that. So now I did today. I entered my the whole weekend, Blaine. I put
nice.
I put the meeting, I put the bus tour, I put
Yeah.
everything down. So I'm covered for this weekend.
All right.
Now I
Very
just
good.
have 3.5 months to enter in that I have on
That
manual
you
log,
have
and we'll
on
be
your
great.
it's on paper, right?
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
paper.
It's
Not even in
terrible.
a freaking Word document. He
No.
wrote it on paper, which is
Yes.
great. Which is great.
But hey, I'm old. What do you want, people? That's
You're
the way
not
it
old.
goes.
You're
So
mature.
I'm seasoned. There you go.
You're
So yeah,
seasoned.
so meeting Travis was cool. He was a great guy.
Yep.
Had some good information, and it was great sharing with him and meeting him. What about you? Did you meet anybody cool?
I met several people cool.
Well, who'd you meet? Name me one.
I met Jake and Robin. They were great.
Yes, they
Jake
were
and
awesome.
Robin
Yeah.
were great people. They are GPs in some deals in Dallas. Well,
Yep.
not Dallas, Abilene. Yeah, they were just again, those are the type of people that and we had dinner with them.
Yeah, had dinner.
So
That
it
was
was
great.
nice. You know, when you can do that, you kind of everybody kind of relaxes and you get out of your role as a, what's my role here in this meeting? You kind of get out of your role and you get to know people a little better and learn about their families and stuff. And that's when,
Yeah.
again, that kind of breaks the barriers there. But we got to do that, and they were super. They were just super entertaining and just heads on straight. Man, I just so impressed. I'd be in a deal with those guys in any day.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just so.
They know their stuff, man. We had a great dinner. Chris, Blaine's wife, she was a little out of line that night at dinner. She was a little crazy. We had to like settle her down, but she finally calmed down. It was, but we were having some great sushi at where we were at Nobu.
Nobu, yeah, I've never
Nobu,
been
yeah.
there.
Let me tell you, it's that's called what I call frou-frou sushi.
It was
Frou-frou.
it was
It's damn good
fantastic. It was fantastic.
though. Damn good though.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me tell you the other one that I really got a kick out of this weekend is we went to dinner Thursday night. I had a friend that we've met in Dallas at these events, not even at the event, but going to dinner. And we met one of my friends. His name is Z Bugatti. Yes, that is his name, Z Bugatti. And we become friends with Z, and to the point that for the last, I don't know, year and a half, probably 2 years, we've been communicating. When we come to town, we give him a text, hey, we're in town, and somehow hook up with him at the restaurant that he's kind of helping out. Well, this was a great trip because we got to have dinner with Z, and Z hooked us up, and Z said,
Yeah.
hey, Matt, would you be interested if because he knows that we're getting into some land development here as of late. And he said, would it be of interest to you to meet one of the top land developers in Dallas I'm friends with? Would you be interested in going to dinner with him? And I said, yeah, that'd be great. So,
awesome.
so we met one of the biggest land developers out in Dallas. His name's Tommy. Meeting Tommy at dinner and his COO Andy, and we had a great dinner. And his wife Trinity had just a fantastic dinner, talking about advantages, up and comings, pitfalls, just advice, all kinds of stuff when it came to land development, but not just land development, talking about real estate and the state of the market. And that was one of the most enlightening 3 hours I've spent
That was cool.
in quite some time. And we had a great dinner, and we had great laughs over dinner. But it was like an education, man, that I couldn't pay for fast enough. I didn't care what the dinner cost me because it was great to be around a mind like that, and
Yeah.
a couple
Somebody
minds.
with that
So,
much experience, man.
oh
It's
my
just
gosh,
those
just
guys are on it.
just the ups and downs, and that was worth every bit of time, energy, and effort and money that we could have put into that. And not only that, but we made some new friends now. So again, we talk about this network and how big it is and the circles that you run in, and finally you meet people that are there. It's like you're coming home. They're in your circle, and coming across people like that, it was just like, man, I love being around people like this. They think differently than others. And, obviously they've done very, very well for themselves, which, dentistry has done very well for us. We've done very well for dentistry, but it's time for us to do very, very well for ourselves, Blaine.
Yeah.
And the way we're going to do that is not in dentistry, people. It's going to be using multifamily real estate and other real estate avenues, other asset classes that are similar. And this is what we're here to teach on Happy Trails, people, because in the profession that you're currently in, you'll probably make a very good living, but I'm not sure that you're going to completely make the life that you want at the end. So that's what we're here for. Yeah.
If you want to change it, let us know. We can
Let
help
us
you.
know.
We can
Who else
help
did we
you.
meet? Who else did we meet?
Well, the podcast boys,
Oh yeah.
Adrian and Marin,
Marin.
and yeah, those guys are so great. They were pretty young and they got it going on, and I'm gonna definitely keep in contact with them.
Yeah, they were good guys. I enjoyed those guys too. That was That was fun to sit and
It was
talk.
kind of
with
cool because Maureen is an RN in working in a hospital, and so he's taken a leave of absence to focus, and he's what 30 something, 32, 33. He'd take
Yeah.
a leave of absence from the hospital to work in the real estate, and so that was kind of like, oh, bro, he's
Yeah.
obviously pretty serious about it, and things must be going pretty well, and he's learning a lot. But yeah, like I said, we'll get that podcast stuff to you, so you can maybe I got a picture of him. Maybe I'll throw that picture up on this if you're watching this on YouTube. I'll flash that picture of those guys, and you can kind of see the difference in style.
Yeah.
And they loved it. They loved it. They're like, you guys are so pretty. You guys are so laid back and casual. This is like quite a bit different than the other ones we've done. And we're like,
You know what?
"Ah."
Here's what I started laughing right away when he goes, wow. And I looked at him and I said, what's up? And he said, I can already feel the vibe in the room is completely different. It's so much
Yep.
more laid back. And Blaine and I started laughing because, dude, we're just two knucklehead dentists, man, that have been doing this crap for nearly 30 years. We've tried to amass a level of wealth to take care of our families and provide for our future when we retire. And guess what? We realize that it's not there when we look at our marketing and or our markets and our retirement. And what do we have in there, Blaine?
3%.
3%. And you know, the average across the country is 3.9% growth
So
per year.
almost there.
3.9.
Almost there.
Damn it. If that doesn't piss you off, then it should. And if you're not pissed yet, then you should get pissed. You know, because damn it, where's our money? Who's got your money? That's the thing. Who's got your money? And I
right.
get so mad thinking about it, bro.
Nah.
I do. But you know what? Then it brings me back to, I know what we're doing in this game right here. This is the right thing. This is absolutely, you and I have had so much fun to date. We're going to have so much more fun, and we're going to move the people that are traveling with us into a stage of wealth that they've never had before, just as we continue to make it as well.
Yep.
And I can't wait to do it, because we're going to bring you along and you're going to see the reward. You're going to be like, I remember when, you know what I mean? And I just wish we would have known this stuff just 10 years ago. Would have been major.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That wasn't the right time.
Nope, I guess
Because
not.
if it had been, it would have been presented to us, at that time. We weren't ready for it then, Matt.
Yeah, you're right. We weren't. I don't know
So-
what the hell happened, but we weren't ready. There was too much going on. I don't know. You know, you think about that. Like, why were we not ready? I don't know. There's just things that come our way and things that don't. So, yeah. So we met the podcast guys who we met a lot of our friends from before that were there. They're still there.
Oh, sure.
Doing the game. Nancy Kitty, Mike Roeder, and Dan Breesy. Gosh, who else? Nick
Espinette.
Nick Espinette. I mean, hey,
Great guy there.
Brother Nick, you know, we're going to bring, Nick's a coach for Sumrok.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I told him we're bringing him on to the podcast. I'll tell you, one of the things that you're going to notice in this year's podcast is, as we move into the second quarter, third quarter, we're going to start bringing other people on so you can get information from them, not just from us.
Yeah.
But we're going to do that after we show you the deal that we were going to show you a few weeks ago. We're going
to show you some deals. We're actually going to do that.
You
unless something comes up this week.
You never know. There's important shit that comes
might be
up.
more important, and we have to talk about.
It might, you know what I mean? But hey, we've got the napkin test, which is cool. You guys have seen that before. Brad went over that several times, and the newbies there in the room were like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, wow, that's it? Yeah. That tells you. Yeah, it tells you if you're even in the ballpark or whatnot. You know, is it worth looking at or not? That's the napkin test. Is what's there for. So, and before you dig into it, but yeah, great people. As a matter of fact, we stayed on for another year or two of mentoring.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Just to have access to the community, I think is worth it. And I'll tell you, I don't know. Brad was a different Brad this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we said that. And for those of you that have seen Brad Sumrok and his growth in the last few years, I believe that everybody reaches a level where maybe they fly too close to the sun, and they've got to come down. And I think maybe Brad got a little too close to the sun and realized it quickly.
Yeah. Some people thrive in that. Maybe Cardone, right?
Yeah,
I mean, he thrives in that shit.
Oh, some people love it.
I think Brad was thinking, okay, this is where these other guys have gone. I should follow them. And he got there and he's like, yeah, you know what? This isn't me, man.
Yeah.
This takes away the intimacy that I loved about this group. I got to get that back. I got to get that back.
Yeah. I picked that
So,
up on him right away. I picked
He
up.
said, he said, this is the most fun I've had in one of these conferences in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And, so
Good on him, man,
that
because
was
that's
cool.
it had a good
I'm excited
feeling
for him.
and it felt good to the people. So I think you're going to see that continue to come forward. So at the next meeting that we attend, certainly we'll tell you about it, and maybe some of you can join. We say it every year and nobody comes, but somebody, maybe somebody will come. Maybe somebody will come. So we'll see.
Yeah.
What else we got for him this week? Anything?
I don't have much of anything. I think that's a
I think it's
good
pretty-
summary. Good summary of what we
Pretty
learned
good.
and
Yeah, pretty good happenstance
Well,
for everything that went down. We had some
dragged us
great
out too long.
food, had some great food, had some great drinks, and met some great people, man. And I don't know what
Yep.
else can you say.
what more do you ask for?
Yeah,
It's kind of what it's all about. So
it's called good times, people. Good times.
all right, good times.
With that,
Hey,
until next time, people. Thank you for joining again. Blaine, you gonna put the link on there at the end of this to the new website?
you mean Happy Trails Real Estate Docs?
Happy Trails Real Estate Docs. Yes, sir. I want you to
Yeah,
put that
you
up
know it.
because this is where you're going to ask your questions. This is going to come to for information. Fill out the landing page, fill out your information so we can get our community going as well. We're going to start an email community that obviously everybody can communicate on, and it's going to be a great for everybody. So fill out your information, share the podcast, tell your friends, or we'll find you. We really will find you. And
They'll come after
so
you.
we will come and get you. But no, seriously, could use your help. We're growing the podcast. It's the fastest growing real estate podcast in the world right now, and we just want to make sure that you're along for the ride.
Right on. Happy trails, everybody.
Right on.
Talk to you next week.
Who cares about the clouds when we're together? Just sing a song and